The NeuroDADverse Podcast is produced by Squid Shack Studios.
Hey, I'm Ben.
And I'm Dan.
We're both fathers,
We're both married.
and we're both raising kids with diagnosed neurodiverse conditions.
Parenting is tough, and we're not saying it's harder for us, just different.
And sometimes that different can be hard to explain.
That's why we've created the NeuroDADverse, a weekly show where we share our wins, our challenges, and all the neuro-sparkly and neuro-spicy bits in between.
Our hope is to create a safe space for parents to share their own highs and lows of neurodiverse parenting. And just to remind you of three things.
You're doing great,
You are enough.
and you're definitely not alone.
So welcome to the NeuroDADverse.
Hello, welcome to the NeuroDADverse with a twist. I am not having a conversation this week with Ben. Ben's on his holidays, and Wi-Fi is a challenge. So we're looking forward to hearing all about Ben's holiday half-term away in episode 51. But right now, joining me on episode 50 is my wife, Amy, making her full pod debut.
Hi, Amy Van.
Hi, Amy fans. Yeah, Amy, you have featured a handful of times on the podcast to date, and now you get sent a stage. So, Ben, let's hope that you are listening to this and see how Amy knocks out the park, and you have to up your game for episode 51, okay? So, interesting, probably slightly shorter pod this week because both point of views on the parents in this podcast are from the same family. But for a change, we get to see the mum perspective and the dad perspective. Normally, we only get dad perspectives. So for any mum listeners, and we do have a lot of mum listeners, we appreciate you greatly. You're being represented this week by Amy. So
Yep.
we normally start by explaining our week in 3 words. Do you have 3 words?
Yeah. Yay for Friday.
Yay for Friday. So my week in 3 words is encapsulated with sports, fun, and heat. So, the context, this is the last full week before our half term, and Ben is the same, hence why Ben is now away on holiday. He left before we could do a recording. So, we're going to be discussing everything that happens in our last week of school before the half term. You'll be listening to this in half term, and I hope you've all had a lovely half term. Amy, we normally, so weird calling you Amy, I'll just call you Amy. Weird, isn't it? You're going to start calling me Daniel.
Not what I call you.
We've been in a trend of doing our challenges first so we can end on positive notes. So, do you want to share with everyone what has been your challenge as a parent this week?
Probably the week in general has been a little challenging because it's been a different week in the ICOT household because Mum has been at work all week, so has no day off. And Frankie has had a slightly different week as well. He's had a different teacher in his class this week. He has also had an inset day on Friday, and he had sports day on Thursday. And it was a little different because I had to work all week. So usually I'm off on a Wednesday, and he knows that. But I wasn't this week because my co-worker is on holiday, Anna. So I've done the whole week, so I can be off next for the half term, so I can spend that with him. And yeah, he's had a new he had a different teacher, which they wrote in his contact book last week to say that this week he would have a new teacher. So it might be a bit challenging for Frankie because he's a bit of a routine pod. He likes a bit of a routine, and also like obviously me not being here on the Wednesday, and then I usually go to sports day, but I couldn't this week because of my boss was in a meeting as well, and I was the only one at the office, so I had to hold the fort. So yeah, it was a bit. So I wasn't at the sports day, so that was a bit challenging for me as a parent because I usually like to go to them things because I like to see him. But yeah, and then obviously dealing with him coming home, me coming home, and him being a little bit using up all his spoons, I say, and being a little bit rested. And then he pulled on night on Tuesday night into Wednesday, or early hours of Wednesday morning into Wednesday, and then obviously I'd be off. and I wasn't, and it gets a bit of a long week for me when I've got to do the 2 days, and I only had about 2 hours late.
Come on.
And I was out, and I was out a lot later. So usually I come in and I go swimming on a Tuesday. On a Tuesday, and
Other providers are available.
other
all we have to
providers are
say.
available. But so yeah, I go to that meeting on Tuesday, and I'm usually in and I like crawl into bed next to him, and so he films me a bit earlier. But then this week I was out celebrating a birthday, one of our friends' birthday on Tuesday, so I was in a bit later. And he thought, you know what, mother, I'll do you. You've come in later. I'll get up a little earlier. And so you'll regret that in the morning.
Mm.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it has been a bit of an off week because also I suppose we found out on Friday evening that he was going to have a new teacher this week, and they pre-warned it might be
Yeah.
a thing, which is good from the school's point of view that they actually told us that. But we didn't really have any time to prepare. We wasn't sure who the teacher would be, so we couldn't sort of do any social stories on that sort of thing. But also we was out at a wedding on the weekend, so Frankie had a stay over, which went really well, as I was talking about on the last pod. But
Yeah.
probably a combination of us being away and him being away from us for a full 24 hours.
Yeah. I mean,
Then coming home, being a bit unsettled from that, then going into school to find his school routine changed.
yeah.
To have a shorter week,
Yeah,
to
it
have
was
a new teacher, and to have a sports day, I think it did impact him quite a lot, and his sleep, it showed for his sleep.
Setting up for fail for the week, but he got through it. Bless him, he got through it, and he was happy when he got home. He's always happy when he gets on the school bus. He likes getting on the school bus, and
Yeah,
he
he loves
comes up.
transport without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah,
Um,
and so
regarding to my part of my challenge then, which sort of ties into this obviously because we both did the same week, but coming at it from different angles. So my main challenge is also part of my win, as we often discuss on our podcast. So I'm going to say my parenting challenge was sports day, which was Thursday. Frankie had a half day. Got told the night before what colour he was wearing, and we had a little bit of a mission in the morning.
yeah.
A little bit of a mission in the morning to try and make
Okay.
sure he was wearing the same
Get
colour.
down the local supermarket and get him a top.
Yeah, and we did all that. We managed to do that. I had to shoot up to London and do a work meeting and then fly back, or not fly back, got the train back to be at his school just in time for sports day. I was a little bit apprehensive because we'd known that he's had a bad week. And last year he didn't partake at all. We turned up and he took us into his classroom. Yeah, he took us in his classroom and he just wanted to play with us in his classroom. And that was fine. To a point. He just wasn't vibing it. So this time I tried to hide. My mum come with me as well. To bring Frankie home afterwards, because it was as soon as sports day was done, they could go. So he wouldn't get transport back. And he did partake, which is part of the win, and I'll touch on that a bit later. But the parenting challenge I had is more myself. I think I said something similar a few weeks ago, where Frankie came out, he was happy, he was delighted that he saw we were there, and he was walking us around and following us. But when it comes to the actual sports day, he didn't really participate in any sense. He didn't do any of the activities that were laid out. I think maybe because the very first task we were given was a penalty shootout. There was a lot of waiting around. There was a lot of talking. There wasn't enough action.
He doesn't understand it, I don't think. I think sometimes when Frankie thinks, when he sees one of us, if we come to the school, he thinks that's the thing. Like, oh, I go with them, and because we're there to help as well as see him, it's more that we're there to sort of be his one-to-one kind of thing, and that he may find that, and so then he clings to that, and then he wants to be with you more than be involved in the school.
Yeah, but I suppose also because we're there, the staff are probably like, oh, we do that, so that's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, in terms of, I think they just lost him with it took too long to get going. We did also have the sensory of the megaphone being used. We had lots of waiting. But yeah, basically,
Kind of got his patience from his mum. Jack.
I say this every week.
Hurry up.
Nice to you
You're
admit that on the
losing
airwaves.
me.
So, I mean, he looked the part, he dressed up, he came out. We didn't spend any time in the classroom. That was good. The reason it was challenging for me was, although he was out, and that was a big win, Rival the sensory. Again, his school playground is backs onto the railway line, and there's a train going past every 7 minutes. He loves watching the trains. Sports day is never going to trump trains.
No.
So there was a little bit. We walked because it was a really hot day as well. Because also the week was really hot, which didn't help with sleep and whatever. He walked straight to the top end, which is where the penalty shootout area was. He would hang around in the shade, like looking at us like, why are you in the suns? And then he just wanted to watch the trains, and he wanted to explore like the shrubbery. Let's go that way. There's a couple of trees and some bushes at the end of the boundary fence where the train line meets the school playground. And he just went up and did his own thing, which I was happy with and proud of to a point.
Yeah.
The challenge for me was when I look around, when I did sort of look around and go, how is sports day going? Because obviously I'm there for him. We're pretty much the only child that isn't really partaking in sports day. So although it wasn't the whole school, they did the rest of the school in the morning, and then they did the younger years and the older years, the SEN crust of the school in the afternoon. And so yeah, they're all kids with different challenges and present differently. But everyone seemed to have either a member of staff or a parent that was kind of happy and willing to do the things, where Frank was just like, I'm just doing long distance running around the edge of the field and back round. We must have done about 5 or 6 laps through the Sudbury. And I was happy because he was happy, and we lasted the whole time. But part of me, again, I've had it a few times when we've gone to like the same club he does in the holidays. Like everyone has gone in, and we're outside 15, 20 minutes later.
I think out of the pair of us, you find that part of the parenting more challenging. I mean, I'm like, I've got a child that just wants to dance to his own beat, and I'm all happy for it. And I promote that. I'm like, you don't want to conform, baby, that's all right. I'll run with you. But you find it a little harder, didn't you?
Well, most of the time, I'm really happy for him. Well, again, I was happy that he was out because it was 100% improvement on last year. I just think sometimes I think you still
face challenges with that.
Yeah, I do sometimes feel a bit isolated / alone within the community of people of like his peers and in our situation, because everyone else is running the sack race or the egg and spoon race, or they're throwing the javelins, or they're doing this, and we're the ones on the furthest edge of it.
He has done it, I think, just in the environment that is sports day. I think if you got him on the field with just his class or just a few people without all of the sound and the sensory and everything else, he probably or just the teachers doing it, because he did do it in that sports
the sports spectacular. I do think this
a couple of weeks ago.
Is it because I was there as well?
It's a different environment. No, but even just might be because there's lots more people on the field doing the sports day, and we know what he's like with crowds. We know he's not a too many kind of thing. It throws him off of what is asked of him to do. And he's
maybe the sports spectacular was actually a circuit where this was kind of like
it looked like in the photos we received that it wasn't everybody all at the same time on the school field. Maybe I don't know if it was or not. They didn't say, but it looked more like it was a lot quieter. But they did obviously. I don't think they had the music on and the megaphone as well. Megaphone.
Yeah, music was playing. Megaphone. Trains, heat.
Everyone's excited.
Waiting.
Frankie is very much like as well. Like everyone's. I mean, I've had to learn this over the years of being Frankie's mum. I love a celebration. I love a big theme and a big. Those who know me know, I love to make a big deal, and Frankie is not a big deal kind of person. He's more of a low key.
Low key with cake. Yeah, low key with cake is fine.
Yeah, there must be cake for everything, but that's fine. But yeah, he's not a let's do a theme and let's have it. He's not that kind of kid.
Yeah, and I say 95% of the time really happy and proud and pleased with how he, as you say, dances to his own beat. Every now and again, I do sometimes just look outside, like looking down on myself. I'm like, oh, we are the only people doing this. And there's nothing wrong with that. I always say different. I can't really articulate. Just sometimes I just think I'll be like, oh, it would be nice to be joining in with them over there, but we're happy doing our thing over here. Yeah,
And
it's
when
just
he does,
sometimes it's
because I
obvious.
know, I think when he does do it, there will be a time when he gets there and he gets to the point. I will be
Oh,
really
yeah.
happy. I will be really happy for you.
Yeah. Frankie
I
ran the
really
race today.
like.
I'll be like, get in.
Yeah.
But no, it was great. It was great because it was 100% better than last year. It was just, I say, I think the last few weeks, I think I've been more of a challenge than being the parent to Frank, because he wasn't in any way challenging to
No,
do the stuff.
everyone's
He,
having a meltdown on the school
no, there
field.
was
It
no
could have all
meltdowns.
been,
It was all
could have
good.
all
It
gone
was me.
terribly wrong.
Yeah, it was all me on this occasion, and we'll see what happens next year. Also, I do think like this was a term early as well. I swear Sports Day was more
Might
towards
have
the
been
summer,
actually.
but the
Yeah.
weather was just like it would have been if it was in June, July. But anyway, okay. Well, we're going to go for a quick break, but when we come back, we'll talk about our wins of the week.
Got a question or want to share a story? Drop us a message on Instagram or email us at NeuroDADverse@gmail.com. Look after yourselves.
And you're listening to the NeuroDADverse with one dad and one mum. Hi, Amy.
Hi.
Now, we just discussed our challenge of Frank having a particularly challenging week in terms of massive routine barriers. Let's move on to the happier subject of wins or a big win. You can go first, Dane. What was your big win of the week?
So my big win of the week was our weekend together, because we went down to our good friend and for the weekend, because we evacuated our home for them to do some field work, and we was lovingly put up for the weekend, for the bank holiday weekend, down to our best mate at the well. And Frankie loved where he stayed last week as well. So it was 2 weekends in a row, so it could have been a bit ropey, but he knew what he was doing. He likes it down there. So we got down there on the Friday after work. They come and got me from work, and then he drove down there. And it was a long day because obviously he's been off though, so wasn't a school day as such, but it was still it was hot and it was still a long day. And
yeah, we chilled at home.
he
At home,
chilled at
basically.
home, yeah. So he got to relax, so that was probably a good thing as well. And we got down there, and we had some food, and he was up late for most of the weekend, so it can always go wrong with the times and everything else, and it's completely out of his routine. But we had a lovely time, and my biggest win was that he stayed. He stayed for 3 nights, and he had a lovely time down there, and yeah, he was just he played, he laughed, he got in the pool, he was really happy to be there. And on the Friday night, like the daughters of our friends, they love to do like performing. They do a lot of like dance and singing. They go to a lot of clubs, and they love to like show us what they've learned. And they're doing their performances, and Frankie watches them, and he's like looking at them, and he's like smiling. And then all of a sudden he got up and he got on one of the little mats that they had out, and he started doing a little dance like in front of everyone. And then it was like he wanted to do a show to join in. And I just was like, oh, he loves it because he's with them and he wants to be part of what they're doing, and he wants to show everyone that he can do something. So it's lovely.
Yeah, it was,
Yeah.
that I must admit, it was
That was
quite
my
emotional watching the video you
yeah.
sent home.
He was like, oh, like my baby can do it. I can do it too. And everyone was proud of him. And then like they all made a fuss of him. Like, "You're go, Frank, look at you." And they kept doing it because he was like, oh, you think it's good. And it was lovely to see his face doing it. He was just so happy. Yeah. And he just had a lovely weekend, and it just made me really happy that we had a challenging week, but he had a lovely weekend. So it was like a big win to like, and that was why my 3 words was like it was all part of my win really. Like we got to the weekend and he had a lovely weekend. So yeah, that was my big challenge. My big win of the week. It was just the weekend was the big win we had, and even on the Sunday, he was like, he usually gets tired on the Sunday, and we would come back on that day, but we didn't. We stayed another whole day, and they had a celebration down there because our friends are Arsenal fans, and obviously they was Arsenal's weekend. And yeah, it was lovely, and nothing fazed him either. Like there was, the football going on. There wasn't his usual programs on. He was just so happy just to be in the garden with the dog and the girls and us and having nice food. And yeah, he even ate a sausage for the first time in like a good amount of time because it was done on the barbecue. Uncle Will did it, and yeah, exactly. So yeah, it was all good.
Amazing. And I will just point out at this point as well a small win that I must admit I was semi-conscious for and don't really recall. I feel like I might have been awake for it, but missed. I've got a note here that Frankie also potentially said a new phrase or some new words
Oh yeah, he did.
during his all-nighter on Wednesday morning. Do you want to just tell us a little bit about that? As you was more lucid than I was.
Oh yeah, because he kept laughing. He was up and he was like, he sometimes has like these hysterical laughters because he's like overly tired and that. And then I was like, oh God, Frank, like you've been up so long. He's like, oh my God, like, and it was like he said, oh my God, copied me and said it because I said, oh my God, like you've been up so long. I remember. It was really
And how did
funny.
he say it?
Oh my God, like that. Like, it goes like that.
And was he laughing or?
Really chuckling. Yeah,
So
because
he
he gets
corrects
like
herself.
overtired.
So that's another
He's
3
done
words.
that since he was a baby. When he
So
gets
we've
really
had
tired, he chuckles.
cake, mum, please, thank you. I don't know. Oh my God.
Oh my God, yeah.
And we feel like we're getting a little bit of the come on and up as well. He's definitely trying to articulate something this week because he keeps
Yeah,
going
when he wants
up,
something,
up,
when he wants something,
yeah.
he's really trying to tell you what he wants. I can really say it. Yeah.
Oh, that son of ours. He does love an early morning sing song. He's like living with a bird, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like you was like, Dan, did you hear him say that? And I was like, I think he just said, oh my God, but I can't be sure because this all could be a dream right now.
Oh my God.
But yeah, no, it was amazing. So another 3 words to add to Frank's vocabulary chart. And Ben, you've now got to try and add those 3 words to a song, Frankie's song.
Back in a sec.
And welcome back. Technical difficulties here on this Bank Holiday Monday recording of episode 50 of the NeuroDADverse with a twist. So into the final straight here, my win, and then we're going to wrap up as we look forward to our week ahead.
We've got to look at the
Huh?
look ahead to the week ahead. So then
Stop jumping ahead. I
right.
will run through my win very quick, and then we can jump to that bit. Okay.
Okay.
So my win this week is a school update on, I think it was Tuesday actually, just before the day before he was up all night and said, "Oh my God," the school wrote in his contact book that Frankie had been playing chase with his classmates and generally seemed interested in what they were doing. And I love the turn of phrase, just generally seemed interested, because that's quite a big deal actually for Frank. Because
Frank, it is, yeah.
Frank can acknowledge you exist, but that is about it sometimes. So not only were they playing chase, but also potentially, what does that mean? Like, did he initiate? Because he's starting to get good at initiating things, isn't he? Especially games.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think he's definitely been taking big strides in school, despite a challenging week where they had also wrote home saying he was unhappy and had been upset and cried because his routine had been messed with. So that was a really nice thing. And my second my parenting win of the week. So recording on Monday because Amy and Frankie were away for the weekend because I decided 9 days ago I was going to shoot a short film on Saturday, which went well and I really enjoyed that, and that was my work win. It was really nice when you came home. I was going to say super early, like 10 o'clock-ish, I think, on the Monday morning. This morning, you came home and Frankie obviously showed signs that he had missed me, which is nice. Because again, as I just said, Frankie's quite happy that you can be in a room and whatever, but he doesn't always necessarily show affection, although he can be very affectionate.
Yeah.
He's very picky and
Selective.
choosy. Selective, that's the one, with how he wishes to share how he feels about you. But he came straight in, gave me big eye contact, big smiles, was hanging around me all the day, kind of like my shadow. He was standing next to me like he wanted to like have contact. So he'll be standing like on my foot, right up my leg, like he does, because he loves a bit of friction, doesn't he, up the side of you. Or when I sat down, he'll come and sit next to me or on me, and that's always nice. It was nice to show that.
Has to be touching you.
Yeah, it's just nice that despite being away for a whole weekend, obviously with you, and he was there last weekend, it was just nice that he comes home and he wanted to spend some time with Dad. So they were my 2 wins of the week. So now, Amy, we can move on to Ben's favourite.
Look ahead to the week ahead.
I'll try and see if I can take that recording and make another one, and then we can choose if it's an Amy week or a Ben week. But yes, so I'm going to push play now, and we're going to hear some air klaxons.
It's Look Ahead to the Week Ahead.
And for the first time ever on the history of the 50 episodes of this podcast, I don't have to say what my week involves because the diary keeper, the secretary to my life, the mothership, is here on the podcast with me.
Yeah.
So, Amy, what are me, Frankie, and yourself doing over half-term week?
Well, yeah, so I'm off, which is everyone is happy in the ICOT
Yes,
house.
we are.
They get fed and watered and organised.
I make sure that Frankie and I are fed and watered. It's just
Well,
much
you make
easier
sure
with the mothership around.
Frankie is fed. You sometimes forget to eat. I make sure you're fed.
Yeah, this is true. All right, fine. So yeah, what activities await us this week?
So, so today we had a little family barbecue, didn't we? So, like, because we're recording it a day later, so we had a little family barbecue.
Indoors because it was too hot, might I add.
Yeah, it was so hot out there. Frankie didn't know. And we're not heat people because, as you can see, we are whiter than white, and we are there. Yeah, so we've and so we was in the kitchen. It's cool. And so Tuesday we are going to the Sen Gym.
Yeah,
He's got a couple of sessions at the Sen Gym together. Wednesday he goes to his club. He's got a day at his club. Yeah, and then on Thursday we're having a play date. We're having my cousin over. And on Friday he's got his club as well. He's got a bonus day at the club. And so that's good. Saturday, Mama is out.
Boys' night. Yeah, we got a boys' night.
You got boys' night. Mama's out on the birthday celebrations with a good friend. And Sunday, we will hope for the best. We will hope
that you're going out for the night.
Yeah, so we will hope for. No, we are planning a roast. We're planning a roast dinner. We shall see if it comes.
Well, Ben, I know you'll be listening at some point during the half-term week to this. You'll never guess. I was literally going to say everything Amy said word for word. And typical, the 1 week I would have absolutely smashed it. Amy had to
you knew what was happening, yeah, because I was here.
A man can only try. Well, I'm really looking forward to hearing what Ben and Fam got up to on their half-term holiday. Literally, I think they're away for the whole of the half term, like all the weekend days as well. So
No.
there'll be a few days in at the time of recording. By the time that you're listening to this, they'll probably be coming to the end, if not on their way home. So Ben should be back in the saddle, recording with me again on Sunday afternoon, hopefully after a roast. What roast are you hypothesizing we're going to potentially have? Pork. Okay, so we'll find out if we did indeed have pork, or if, like all intentions in neurodivergent parent lives, you can have a plan, but sometimes it just totally changes.
It is what it is. We go with it.
So that's pretty much all we talk about. Amy, would you like to do my part of the pod where we sign off and wish everyone a good week? What do I normally say at this point?
So just remember 3 things. You are enough. You're doing great, and you're certainly not alone.
That's absolutely perfectly delivered, babe. Thank you for listening, everyone. Please win your week and tune in next week for more fun and more challenges in the NeuroDADverse. Win the week.
That's about it for the NeuroDADverse. We'll be back next week.
If you laughed, cried, or nodded in tired agreement, don't forget to follow us and leave a review. It helps more parents find us.
Just remember, you're doing great.
You are enough, and you are definitely not alone.
Got a question or want to share a story? Drop us a message on Instagram or email us at neurodadverse@gmail.com. Look after yourselves.